I'm hoping to achieve, through my new role as patient ambassador, to help people in similar positions to me to be more informed about antibiotic resistance and to help them feel less isolated and more able to cope with the situation they're going through. I developed a resistant bacterial infection because I had, in 2018, laparoscopic surgery for endometriosis. And shortly afterwards, I developed a urinary tract infection that developed into urosepsis about 48 hours later. And I was rushed into hospital, and unfortunately I wasn't treated correctly or treated for the correct duration of time with the appropriate antibiotic. And I was released from hospital, still symptomatic of the infection, and then it became resistant. And that is where my journey started with antibiotic resistance. The impact my ongoing persistent infection has had on my life affects every aspect of my life. That can be physically, mentally, it stops me socialising, it affects my personal relationship with my partner, it's incapacitating. And I don't know when my symptom flares are going to come on. And when they do, they're violent, and I suffer from all the normal symptoms of a urinary tract infection. And a couple of years ago, incontinence came as a sudden surprise. And for a lady my age, that was something I didn't expect with this ongoing infection. And to be more graphic, I have to wear incontinence pads, and when these moments happen, it can happen anywhere, and I can be out and about or at home, and it just affects me mentally, and I feel sometimes like I don't want to live, unfortunately. Because I don't know how I'm going to rid myself of this infection. Soon after knowing that I've developed a antibiotic-resistant infection, the impact it's had on my mental health has been immense. And although it's more under control now, I would say soon after, I didn't know where to turn, so I had to call the Sepsis UK Trust, and who put me in contact with yourself, Antibiotic Research UK, and so I didn't feel alone at that time, and I definitely don't feel alone now. And I had to engage the services of a psychotherapist as well. And it affected everything, actually. My mental health made me feel completely worthless. And I didn't know if I had a future. And now I feel that my future is not so bleak. The most difficult aspect of living with an antibiotic-resistant infection is looking well and telling people, oh, I don't feel well today. And they look at you and think, oh, you look perfectly well, what's wrong with you? And then having to explain my story and it being quite unbelievable to some. And of course, the reaction I get is quite similar from most who don't understand antibiotic-resistant infections. And it's like, well, haven't you tried everything? Haven't you tried this herbal remedy or this antibiotic? So it's quite tiring, and I find that aspect quite tiring. So that's been, I think, the most difficult part, obviously coupled with the infection flares and all the symptoms and the mental health aspect of it as well. My own personal hopes for the future in terms of my own health is that there will be a treatment that will become available that will hopefully treat the infection that I have persistently suffered with for almost 3 years, and that I will be able to live without the symptom flares and the stigma as well attached to having this infection. The message I have for the wider general public is that antibiotic resistance is real, it's rife and it's on the rise, and it's worldwide as well. And by 2050 it's estimated there will be approximately 15 million or 10 million deaths from this, and in itself will be a pandemic. So we need to develop new treatments, antibiotics, stewardship, that's very important, and just making sure that we can get this under control for the future. My message to the wider public is that everyone needs to play their part, that's globally, and they need to follow the instructions on the packets of the antibiotics, listen to the doctors that prescribe them, finish the courses, and not take antibiotics for issues that don't require them.